No one's home. Oh, hello world. My name is Stephen Walker, and welcome to A Walker in the Woods. I just found a new rabbit hole. It's a big rabbit. So, are you a nutter? Are you a black sheep? An outlier? A conspiracy theorist? What keeps you up at night? In this video, I'd like to dive into a few, or many, of the ones that I find very interesting. If you agree or disagree, or have some of your own, then I recommend that you drop a comment down below. Tell me what you agree with, what you disagree with, or ones that you have heard that you didn't hear on this video. And of course, if you do decide to tune in and turn on to this content, drop a thumbs up. It does help the algorithm. I have 5 categories that I want to touch on. So health, science, wealth, the arts, and the esoteric. Let's change the topic to wealth. I've just got 3 that I want to talk about, and obviously wealth. Did you know, now wealth comes from wheel, W-E-A-L, or even older form was W-E-L, Old English. It meant money, but it also meant happiness. Are you well? Are you wealthy? And there's tangible and intangible. But we're going to look at the tangible form of wealth and currency and fiat currency. And I presume that a lot of you out there do know that the dollar has been shrinking in value every year due to inflation. Well, way back in 1971, when President Nixon, he took the dollar off of the gold standard. And that is when the dollar became fiat. What does fiat mean? It means it's not real. It means that it's basically worth the price of the paper that it's printed on. And speaking of the dollar, let's look at the banks real quick. There's a thing called fractional banking. Do you know what that means? Fractional banking. If I take $100 and I deposit it into a fractional bank account, then that bank, they will take that $100, they will save 10%. They'll put 10 of my dollars into the vault, and then they'll take 90% and they'll loan it out to someone else. So if I go back and I say, hey, I want my $100 back, they'll say, well, it's actually not here any longer. 90% of it has been loaned out. So they're basically creating money out of your money. And speaking of fiat money and the United States dollar, which is now it's the world currency, due to the fact that all countries are basically forced to use it to buy and sell oil. But who makes that dollar? Do you know? Do you think it's the government? The United States? Who makes it? Well, you might have heard of the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve sounds like a government institution, but it's not. It's actually a private bank, or a number of banks who create the dollar. And you go back to Rothschild from England, who said, give me the power to create a nation's currency, and I care not who makes its laws. So basically, if you have the power to create and control the currency, all of those politicians are in your pocket. So, speaking of politicians, wouldn't it be nice if, NASCAR, where the driver gets out of the car and he has all these patches on his jacket? What do you think? Rather than having to vote and have to watch all of this petulance and bullshit every 4 years for elections, that it should just be a law to make them wear patches? Who are their sponsors? Wouldn't that be an easier way to go? You can just look at Bernie Sanders and see what patches he's wearing, or Trump, or Pelosi. Let's just make it simple. Keep it simple, stupid, right? George Orwell, back in, I don't know, in the 40s, I think it was 1948 or somewhere around there, he wrote a book called 1984, talking about Big Brother. And what is Big Brother now? It's actually come true. There's a thing called a CBDC, a central bank digital currency, CBDC. Digital currency is coming whether you like it or not, be it in the form of Bitcoin, XRP, XLM, HBAR. A number of digital currencies are going to basically oust the fiat currency, the paper money. Now, there can be a good and a bad. Like everything, there's always a good and a bad. That's just the law of the universe. But I'm going to focus on one bad thing. So if we ever do, get, they say paper currency is no longer accepted. Here in Korea, there's a number of places where you can only use that credit card. How many of you actually walk around with cash, paper money in your pocket anymore? So when the time comes and paper currency is no longer allowed, and you have to use a card, or even worse, a chip implanted in your hand, wow, that just sounds so convenient. All of my information's right here, or right here. And guess what happens when you're not a good boy or a good girl? They can simply turn you off, and you no longer exist in the matrix, in the grid. What are you going to do for food? What are you going to do for a living? You are controlled. They've got you by the short and curlies when that happens. So I would always say that you should try and continue using cash as much as possible, or barter, or if you're able to live in a community where you know people, small communities. They say, it takes a village. Old Hillary Clinton, I think, wrote a book, It Takes a Village. There's power in numbers of people, and there's absolute power in people that know each other and care for each other and take care of each other. Living in Africa, I saw the power of a village. When someone didn't have food, the others would come together and they would provide. If someone's house blew down, the others would come together and they'd help build. It does take a village. And there is power to people, and the power of numbers of people. And if you vote, do you vote? I don't vote for the president. I haven't voted for a congressman or a senator for, I don't know if I ever did. But that being said, I do vote every day. What do you mean you vote every day? Tell me more. Okay, I'll tell you more. You vote every day by when you open up that wallet and you pull out that piece of paper, and who you give that piece of paper to, with George Washington on it, or whatever country you're in, whatever currency they use. Now I'm in Korea, so I have a thing called a Korean won. And I can take that Korean won and I can give it to Starbucks. Well, they don't actually accept it anymore. They only accept credit cards, debit cards. But I can go to, I don't know, my favorite store of all, Costco. There's a Costco here in Korea. And I'll go to Costco and I can give them my money. But Costco is an American company. So that means that I'm supporting an American company over here in Korea. Or I can take that money and I can go to the mom and pop shops that are just right down the road from me and help support them. Do you want to keep the money in your economy, in your community? Or do you want to give it to a larger corporation that will use that money to pay mainstream media buku bucks to advertise products that you probably don't need anyways? So the money, the currency, is your vote, and you vote every day. Don't forget that. I want to know as much as possible, and if I'm going to be labeled negatively for it, so be it. So, who's on this journey with me? If you are, give me a thumbs up. If you are, give me a comment below and tell me what theories float your boat. And if any that I didn't touch on, please drop them below and I'll check them out. And if you like any of these more than others, and you want me to talk more about some than the others, and I'd be happy to do that. And if I don't know, I'll research, and I also like dropping names. I like dropping names. There's a lot of people out there, you know, that are talking about very interesting topics. All of these people are educated. Do they have all the answers? No. Do I have all the answers? Most definitely not. But I'm having a good time trying to figure out what all this is, who I am, and what's the frequency, Kenneth? So, until next time, keep doing your own research, keep learning something new, and as always, be vigilant. Peace out.